So I'm going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. The next dynasty was the Zhou dynasty. This picture that I have here is more of a European society, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it how the Zhou dynasty used it. The Zhou dynasty was the longest ruling dynasty in China's history. They were the first dynasty to use the mandate of heaven, which gives the rulers power. So they were the first dynasty to start using the mandate of heaven. And lastly, their land was ruled by feudal lords who were relatives of the Zhou family. What that basically means is farmers farmed for the lords, so the peasants, these people here, farmed for the lords, so did their farming and were also military support. And in turn, the lords gave the emperor and the military support. And then it slowly was like a circle of the pyramid, or a circle kind of cycle, how it would cycle through. But basically, the peasants would help the lords, then the lords would help the king. And if the lords helped the king and support him, then if a good king, a happy king is a good king. So what that basically means, if this king is happy, if this emperor is happy, then there aren't going to be any issues for him, and there aren't going to be things that he's going to be taking out on the peasants. So the feudal society is broken down from kings to lords to peasants and soldiers and people in between. But what's important to remember is that it's like a social pyramid. So there's people on top and people on the bottom. Emperors on the top, peasants on the bottom. In China, there was a thing called the Warring of States. After the Zhou dynasty fell, everything became chaotic or crazy. For 250 years, these 8 states battled for control over China. So not one dynasty was in control for 250 years. They were battling it out and having these wars. And the wars ended when the Qin states conquered them all. I put a sun by the Qin state so you guys could see how huge it is. They were able to take control of China, of this land of area, and they conquered it. This next question asks you, true or false? The Qin dynasty lost the battle of the warring states. You're going to click that little magnifying glass icon at the bottom of your screen and drag it to either true, the Qin dynasty lost the battle of the warring states, or false, they did not lose the battle of the warring states. So to break down the Qin dynasty, the third dynasty, their emperor was Qin Shi Huang. He became the first emperor of China. He unified China after the warring states and changed how China was ruled. They had strict laws with harsh punishments. If you broke the strict law, there were harsh punishments that were given to you. And he also created taxes. Right here, this little square little notches right here kind of looks like a zipper. That's the Great Wall of China. Right here is the Qin dynasty where they were controlling, and you can see they started to build this border, the Great Wall of China. This red outlining is the border of present-day China. So this red area is what China presently owns. The yellow area is what the Qin dynasty owned. Some of these accomplishments that the Qin dynasty had were advancements in its society that were used in future dynasties to make China strong and become even stronger than they already were. Although the dynasty didn't last long, it had many accomplishments like the Great Wall of China, the use of money, building of roads and canals, the terracotta army, and multiplication tables that we use today in math. The terracotta army, just to give you guys quick insight, was basically like 8,000 sculptures, over 400 sculptures of horses of an army found in 3 pits in 2007. These archaeologists dug up some area in China and found these armies called the Terracotta Army. And it was these groups of soldiers that were in Qin's dynasty that I'm going to have to explain in another video. So stay tuned for my last video.